Hello everyone and welcome back to Tutorials of Tone. My name is Alex. Thank you so much for watching this video. What we're going into today, Something to Talk About by the legendary Bonnie Raitt. We're going to see how we can dial in a Bad Cat amp to our liking, and while I may not be playing with a slide and in an open tuning, you can dive after those succulent tones that Bonnie is known for. Let's see how and dive right in. First up in our preset we have our input block. Everything here is at stock settings except the threshold of our gate is at negative 47.5 dB, where I like having it for my Morse Music Man guitars as well as the Fender Tellies. Both of these guitars I use on every country gig that I play. The first effect in our signal chain is the compressor. This is crucial for getting the maximum sustain out of these lead lines. So as you can see here, we're using a tube compressor, incredibly low threshold. We're using basically a 3:1 ratio for our compression with auto makeup gain engaged. And the mix of our compressor is tied to an expression pedal, along with several other parameters that we will get to. Our compressor runs straight into the front of a Bad Cat amp. This was the first time I got to tango with this amp when I first got a Fractal device, and I fell in love immediately with this amp model. It's so smooth and warm, full, very dynamic, very reactive to touch. It's a great amp, and there are plenty of Blocks library entries from yours truly in this Blocks library based on this amp model. For our rhythm tone, we have our gain at 3.5, which moves up to 6 when we engage our lead boost. Our overdrive is set to 6 throughout. Our bass is taken down a bit with the cut switch engaged. Our treble up a bit with the bright switch engaged. And our master volume is at 3. We have a very significant low cut on the input EQ of our amp. We're at 475 Hertz. It may seem like a lot, but mix with your ears, not your eyes. So this is what our rhythm sounds like with it engaged. Without it. And we'll meet you roughly halfway. I could probably stand to take it back a little bit, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Don't be afraid of cranking some knobs and hearing what it sounds like in a mix, because, of course, there is a bass player and a keyboard player on this tune who has a very strong left hand at times. Know your bandwidth. We're running that amp into a pair of Bad Cat cab IRs, a 1x12 Hot Kitty mix. The same IR. Everything is identical about these two except one of them has a low cut of 100 Hertz. Why, you ask? It worked. I liked the sound of it. Nothing is panned, nothing else is crazy. I was in an experimental phase and I liked it. Set it and forget it. In our preamp tab for our cab, we have nothing to speak of in the low cut but a 10K high cut. We are running our amp in parallel into a medium room reverb at completely stock settings, except our level is mixed to taste at negative 15 dB, just to give us a little bit of extra breath in any board recording or live mix. We also are running in parallel to a mono tape delay. Pretty stock settings here. We have an 1/8 note quantization on our tape delay, and the BPM of our tune is at 103. As you can see, the input gain is also tied to our expression pedal modifier, and when we go into lead boosting, we get that 1/8 note clicking out. And finally, in our chain, we have our filter block with our trusty 3 dB boost for lead boosting. This is great to jump out in front in a mix, but not have soundmen dive for your fader where they'll never turn it back up. This is just a nice subtle bump, lets everybody know you're soloing, and right back down. So to recap, we have a compressor, our gain increasing, a delay being brought in at an eighth note, and a 3 dB boost for our leads. So the difference of without, the completely unaffected rhythm signal, and with, which is our lead boost. Just an absolutely lovely sustain, beautiful tone, coming as close as I could to the Bonnie Raitt original. That about does it for this preset and this video. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope this kickstarts you into a love of Bonnie Raitt, her playing, the tones especially, and may serve as a jumping off point for your next tonal expedition. If you enjoyed this video or this preset, there are plenty of other videos throughout the channel where you can watch and learn more. Fractal 101s, tutorials of tone, gear reviews, playthroughs, etc. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you all next time.